Welcome back, Health Science 1 students. This is the second video of the two which describe the bones of the body that we need to know for this class. And we are going to be talking about the bones of the appendicular skeleton. So you remember from class that the bones of the appendicular skeleton includes bones of our appendages, right? Our arms, our legs, okay? So let's take a look. When we are talking about our shoulder girdle, okay, our shoulder girdle, there are two bones that come to mind here. This one in the front along here is known as our clavicle, commonly referred to as our collarbone. And then along the back side here is our scapula, commonly known as our shoulder blade. So these two bones actually come together to form a joint in through here called commonly known as our AC joint, but it's our acromioclavicular joint. Moving on down into the arm, the large bone in the top of our arm is known as our humerus. Moving down, if you're looking at the skeleton in the standard anatomical position, the bone that is more medial is our ulna bone. The bone that is more lateral is our radius. Looking down now into the wrist and hand, this collection of short bones here are our carpal bones. They are commonly referred to as our carpal bones. They each have a name, but we don't have to know each individual name for this class. We just need to know that these short bones are the carpals. Beyond the carpals, our first row of long bones are our metacarpal bones. So if you are looking at the skeleton in the standard anatomical position, the thumb is going to be lateral. Okay. Moving down beyond this first set of long bones, the next grouping of bones are known as our phalanges, so our fingers, okay? In our fingers, there are three rows of phalanges. In our thumb, there's only the 2 rows of phalanges. Looking at now the lower extremity or the lower body, we have to talk about our pelvis, our pelvic girdle. So we already know that this bone is referred to as the ilium because this is the iliac crest, okay? The front bones that come together here are our pubic bones. And if you turn the skeleton around, it's a little bit easier to see. This bone back in through here on either side is our ischium. So these bones here, when you sit down, we call them your sit bones. These are the bones that are primarily weight bearing when we're sitting on our bottoms. Those 3 bones come together. They all intervene right here at this socket, part of the ball and socket joint of the hip. And that socket itself, or where those 3 bones come together, is collectively known as the acetabulum. Moving on down, a little lower, the large bone in our thigh, and in fact the largest bone in the body, is known as our femur. Our kneecap, that bone right in the front, is our patella. The larger of the 2 bones in the lower part of the leg and the more medial of the 2 bones is our tibia. The more lateral of the 2 bones and the smaller of the 2 is our fibula. Looking at our ankle and foot, okay, On the back side, this big bone in through here is our calcaneus bone. These short bones in here are collectively known as our tarsal bones. So kind of similar to the wrist, where the wrist bones were the carpal bones, collectively known as. These short bones in the ankle are known as our tarsal bones. Again, there are individual names for each of these bones. We do not need to know them for this class. Similar to the hand again. So the first row of long bones that you see are known as our metatarsals. And moving on down beyond that, the next rows of long bones, or the bones that you see when you look at your toes, are known as our phalanges. So the bones of the toes and the bones of the finger are actually both called the phalanges. And those are the bones that you need to be aware of the appendicular skeleton.